I've seen the movie and the TV show MASH, and that's about as close to wartime triage and medical attention I've ever been. Maybe that's the same for you too. But that's how the hospital situation is being described right now in New York City. It's like a war zone. And one Boise nurse is about to step right into this overwhelming situation because, well, they need the help. Joe Paris spoke with a veteran emergency room and ICU nurse who is getting ready to go to New York this weekend.
So when they called you and said, yeah, we need you in New York, what was that conversation like?
I called them and asked if they needed some help, and they said yes. So they gave me a fax number, and I sent in my stuff. Since I have both ICU and ER, they were like, yeah, we need you to come. It looks like I'm going to be working just in a regular ER in Brooklyn.
Debbie Wilder worked for 17 years in a Treasure Valley emergency room and ICU. More recently, though, she went to work at the Surgery Center of Idaho to do post-anesthesia care. Her team is so supportive, though, they told her,
we're going to go ahead and let you take 8 weeks off, and then your job will be here when you get back.
What did they tell you to prepare for?
Well, they haven't really. I anticipate it's going to be super busy. I anticipate working a lot of 12 and a half, 13-hour days. I anticipate there's going to be a lot of death. I anticipate I'm going to learn a lot on how to treat this virus because from what I've read up, they aren't treating it like any of the other viruses I've dealt with in the past.
I've heard some media reports kind of describe the situation in New York almost like it's a war zone. Does it feel like you're heading into something like that?
Yeah, it does. But, I'm going to know. I know of a few nurses from Idaho that I've worked with in the ERs here that are headed there too. So it's not going to be like I'm on, an island by myself. There's going to be a lot of people that are swarming together to try and do the right thing.
Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to go to New York?
I've always wanted to go and try and help when there's been a problem. I have some knowledge, and I think I can be of benefit. I'm really impressed and excited with how many people are banding together to go fight something we've never fought before.
Wilder is set to start Monday in New York. She says the support from her friends and family has been tremendous.
The rest of my family, I think, are concerned, but they know that I will do the best I can to stay safe.
It's kind of what nurses do, isn't it, Joe? They help where there is a problem. But I got a question for you. Can she take her own personal protection equipment with her? And where is she going to be staying when she gets there?
Yeah, I asked about PPE, that personal protection equipment, and she said that she has some that she's going to bring with her, but she really isn't sure what the situation is going to be like until she gets to New York, until she gets to Brooklyn. They're just so busy right now. It's hard to really plan everything out and deal with what's going on the ground in New York. In terms, Brian, of the other stuff you were talking about, she actually is able to stay at an apartment in New York, a little bit of a stroke of luck. One of her newer coworkers actually had a place for her to stay in New York, and they're not there right now. So it worked out really nicely that she'll have a nice place to stay for 8 weeks, and she'll have that part taken care of. The truth is, though, there's a lot of people like her traveling across the country that don't really have a great arrangement, and they're going to have to work to figure it out on the fly.
Well, like her and some of her colleagues there, at least we have the luxury of not needing them right now. So hopefully they don't have to hurry back and they can stay and help New York for as long as they need to. All right. Thank you very much, Joe.